Hello everyone and welcome to another round of Championship predictions. It's a full fixture list across Friday, Saturday and Sunday this coming weekend. And we start on Friday night with a game between Sheffield Wednesday and Birmingham City. Sheffield Wednesday need to recover after last week's match, the result at Huddersfield. 4-0 did surprise me a bit, I have to say. Four goals in 18 mad second half minutes, I think. So they really do need to find their feet soon. However, I do think that Birmingham will just edge this one on Friday. They desperately need a win as well, but they're getting close. They're only getting narrowly beaten at the moment. So I think they'll just sneak this one. So I'm going Sheffield Wednesday 1, Birmingham City 2. Next we have Ipswich, going into Saturday now, we have Ipswich versus West Bromwich Albion, a top of the table clash to all intents and purposes, with West Brom looking for the playoffs, having a good win last week, and Ipswich not really recovering from their Maidstone shock, going 3-0 down at Preston. They did rally to come back to 3-2, but it wasn't enough on the day. They really got to make sure that home record that they've had fantastic this season has got to kick in. However, again, I think West Brom will steal a point. They're in good form. They're always hard to beat. So I'm going Ipswich Town 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Now we have Blackburn versus Stoke City. Some interesting sound bites at Blackburn this week, with the manager having a go at everybody and anybody by the seam of it. At the time of recording this, he's still in his post, I believe, but I think it's very tenuous. And they've, as I said last week, they've really had a mid-season plunge, and it seems like the tensions are very high up there at the moment. However, I'm going to Stoke are not on good form either, so I'm just going to, perhaps against all the odds, maybe I'm going to go Blackburn 1, Stoke 0, Stoke City 0, for Blackburn to sneak a rather probably pretty dull encounter. I think both sides there will be desperate not to lose as a first option. So we'll see. But yes, Blackburn 1, Stoke City 0. Hull City versus Swansea City. Hull had a good win last week, and they'll be looking to get into the top 6. Well, they're in the top 6 by a point, so they'll be looking to keep that position now, going into this critical part of the season. Hull have been good at home, and I think they'll sneak this one as well. Swansea treading water a little bit in the lower half of the table. They're sort of mid-table, 33 points. 5 points clear the relegation zone, so they're still looking over their shoulders. But I think it will be a narrow win for Hull. Hull City 2, Swansea City 1. Next we have a Yorkshire derby, but I don't think it's going to be a close match in my opinion. Leeds United versus Rotherham United. Rotherham having a tough old fixture list at the moment. They had Southampton last week, facing up to Leeds this week. Leeds just seem to be going from strength to strength. They sneaked into the top 2 last week, but obviously Southampton regained that. So again, Leeds will be wanting to keep the pressure on, and I think they will. I think it'll be a comfortable afternoon for Leeds United on Saturday. Leeds United 3, Rotherham United 0. Then we have another playoff hopeful against the mid-table outfit, Middlesbrough against Bristol City. Bristol City haven't won a league game now since Boxing Day. They've been, I don't know whether you can say they've been distracted by the Cup, but they've certainly had 2 replays in the FA Cup and a gruelling match the other night against Nottingham Forest. Middlesbrough have had a fresh week, a clear week, fresh from any action, after their local derby last week, where they didn't quite hang on when they drew 1 each with Sunderland. So I think it'll be a routine win for Middlesbrough. I think Bristol City, after their midweek exploits, will be only a couple of days to recover, a long journey, all of the usual factors that don't add up to a Bristol City win, I don't think. So it's going to be Middlesbrough 2, Bristol City 0 in that one. Next we have Cardiff City versus Preston North End. Cardiff in that hopeful group, if you like, trying to get into the top six. Going to be pretty difficult, I think. But they're playing Preston North End, who had a plucky win against Ipswich last week. I still think Cardiff will come out on top. Cardiff had a decent win at Watford last week, a good solid 1-0 win at Vicarage Road. So I think, Cardiff to back that up this week with a narrow home win against Preston North End. So I'm going to go Cardiff City 2, Preston North End 1. And then we come to Queen's Park Rangers against Norwich City. Queen's Park Rangers doing level best to get out that bottom three. They've had some plucky results lately, including a 2-0 win at Blackburn last week. So I think, they'll give Norwich a good game. I think there'll be goals around. And I'm going to go for Queen's Park Rangers 2, Norwich City 2. Southampton against Huddersfield. Well, Southampton are just go marching on, don't they? They're back into second place. They're still scoring plenty of goals. They don't look, and they look untroubled in matches generally at the moment. Huddersfield had that excellent 4-0 win last week. Those four goals in the second half against Sheffield Wednesday give them a lift for sure. Out the bottom three. I think though it'll be Southampton will continue their hot run. And especially at home, they've been absolutely fantastic. So I think a comfortable win. Southampton 4, Huddersfield 1 on Saturday afternoon. Sunderland against Plymouth Argyle, a long old trek for Plymouth, one of their longest possibly of the season. They had a gruelling match against Leeds in the FA Cup on Wednesday evening or Tuesday evening, can't remember which, sorry. Pouring with rain, and that always saps the energy out of you. And it went to extra time, so they've got a big job on their hands to go up to Sunderland. I think Sunderland got that equaliser last week late on, so that gave their fans a boost, and hopefully perhaps the manager a bit more of a comfort zone as well to work with. He's been under a bit of pressure, even though he's only just gone there. So I think they'll edge this one. Not much in it. I think it'll be Sunderland 2, Plymouth Argyle 1. Watford at home to Leicester City. What can you say about Leicester City? They're just running away with it at the top. Quick check, yes, they're 11 points clear now at the top of the table. And the gap, it's grown since last week. They're not going to be, I don't believe they're going to be challenged, as I say. And they're going to go to Watford full of confidence, as they go everywhere full of confidence at the moment. And Watford, they slipped up last week at home. I think this week it's going to be a tough ask to get anything out of the match. So I'm going for Watford 0, Leicester City 2. And finally, the game on Sunday, we have Coventry City versus Millwall. Coventry just outside the top six, vying for Hull City for that sixth spot at the moment, and then there's a little bit of a gap to West Brom. So a lot of teams battling for that sixth spot at the moment, but Hull are the shirt holders. Coventry are trying to jump over them, and I think they'll beat Millwall. I think they'll come out on top against Millwall narrowly. It'll be Coventry City 1, Millwall 0 on Sunday lunchtime. I think that's it. That's the predictions for this coming weekend. Another tough championship fixture list. And we'll see how the league table pans out this time next week. Good luck to all your teams, and have a good weekend, and see you soon.